Hello friends, welcome to Technique. This is Nirmal here, and in this video we will be doing a detailed camera comparison of two flagship devices. We have the Vivo X80 Pro with us, and we also have the iPhone 13 Pro. Now these are really flagship devices. Now when it comes to Android flagships, there are a lot of devices which offer great camera experience, and the recent one which has captured a lot of attention is the Vivo's X80 Pro with a quad camera setup. So Vivo X80 Pro is really great in terms of camera. You get a quad camera setup on this device, excellent cameras. This has to be one of the really good camera smartphones in the flagship department in Android. Now when it comes to cameras, iPhone 13 Pro is also a really great device, but price wise the iPhone 13 Pro is much more priced compared to the Vivo X80 Pro. But in this video we will be focusing only on the camera aspect of these two devices. So let's see which of these cameras perform better. So we'll be analyzing all the camera samples, and let's see which performs better. So that's what we're going to talk about in this video. So before getting started, if this is your first time on this channel, do hit that red subscribe button and also hit the bell icon to get notified of all the videos we publish. So let's first have a look at the camera hardware on these two devices. Now talking about the Vivo X80 Pro, it's a quad camera setup. You get a primary 50 megapixel sensor. It's a Samsung sensor. It's a custom sensor. GNV sensor is what Vivo calls. f1.6 aperture, optical image stabilization. You get 7p lens, Zeiss optimization, Zeiss T-star coating is also included. So it's a really good camera, the primary sensor. Now the secondary sensor is a 48 megapixel Sony IMX598 sensor. Then you get f2.2 aperture. Now the third camera is a 12 megapixel telephoto lens. It's a Sony's 663 sensor, and you get 2x optical zoom, and there is also gimbal stabilization included. Along with that, you also get the optical image stabilization for the third camera. It's an f1.9 aperture, and finally you have a fourth 8 megapixel telephoto lens. It's having 5x optical zoom, and it's an omnivision sensor. So that's the primary camera setup. This is a quad camera setup on the Vivo X80 Pro. Now on the front panel you get a 32 megapixel sensor for selfies. So that's the camera hardware on the Vivo X80 Pro. Now coming to the iPhone 13 Pro. So we all know that it's a triple 12 megapixel camera, the primary 12 megapixel camera with sensor shift OIS is included. You get a telephoto lens which has 3x optical zoom. Then you get another 12 megapixel ultra wide angle camera. So it's a 12 megapixel sensor. Then you get a front 12 megapixel sensor for selfie. So that's the selfie camera on the iPhone 13 Pro. So both of these devices have great camera hardware. Now you have a Zeiss optics on the Vivo X80 Pro, while you have the Dolby Vision recording available for the videos on this, and there is also really great video recording options available. So let's go straight into the camera samples to see which performs better. So looking at the daylight captures, you can see that both of these cameras produces similar images. The colors are quite similar as well. The detailing looks good. The sharpness levels are also quite good. Here is another image. Once again, you can see here both produces almost similar result. There isn't much to differentiate between these two devices. But when it comes to HDR processing, that's where the Vivo X80 Pro does better than the iPhone 13 Pro. So you can see here the dynamic range is better on the Vivo X80 Pro. Now here is another image. Once again, you can see that the leaves on the left side corner looks better on the Vivo X80 Pro. The dynamic range looks better here. Now if you look at the zoomed image, the 100% crop, you can see that iPhone does have a slightly better advantage in terms of sharpness levels, but you can see that noise is also slightly on the higher side on the iPhone 13 Pro. This is another indoor shot. You can see here both produces similar results once again. Now another daylight captures. Here you can see that both have quite similar camera processing. In fact, the color processing looks very similar. So looking at the ultra wide angle camera, once again you can see here both produces very similar results in our first testing. The colors are also quite similar. So here is another ultra wide angle image. Here you can see that while it looks quite similar, if you zoom in onto the right tree, then you can actually see that Vivo X80 produces images which are more sharper. The edges of the ultra wide angle camera on the iPhone 13 Pro seems to be not so sharp, and here you can see that once again Vivo X80 Pro takes the lead. Now this is another ultra wide angle image, and you can see that the dynamic range looks better on the Vivo X80 Pro. So once again, in terms of ultra wide angle shots, Vivo X80 Pro takes the lead. Now both of these devices also come with a telephoto lens, and you can clearly see that the Vivo X80 Pro image looks more sharper, more detailed, while you can see that the iPhone 13 Pro image did have a bit of noise and it was not as sharp as the Vivo X80 Pro. So that's one other area where Vivo wins. Now this is a close-up image. Here you can see that the Vivo X80 image is a bit high on contrast, but overall the quality looks good. The reds are pretty deep as well, so overall quality definitely looks good. Now here is another close-up shot. Once again, the Vivo X80 Pro was a bit too contrasty image. Personally, I would like the iPhone 13 Pro image here. Now here is the macro shot. Here you can see that Vivo X80 Pro was better here. Overall detailing, sharpness levels are also slightly better on the Vivo X80 Pro. So both of these have the macro mode. So this is the macro shot taken using both of these devices. Now moving on to the portraits, here you can see that the skin tones are slightly better or natural looking on the iPhone 13 Pro compared to the Vivo X80 Pro. But if you look at the t-shirt color, it looks more realistic on the Vivo X80 Pro. So here is another portrait shot. Once again, we would say the skin tones are better on the iPhone 13 Pro, but overall the background blur and the edge detection seems very good on both the phones. So portraits are slightly better, I would say, on the iPhone 13 Pro. Now moving on to the low light images. Once again, both of these produces stunning low light images, but clearly you can see that the noise is lesser on the Vivo X80 Pro, and also the dynamic range seems better on the Vivo X80 Pro. So here is another shot. You can see that the right corner there is a tree, and if you look at the dynamic range, you can see that there is more details on offer on the Vivo X80 Pro compared to the iPhone 13 Pro. So once again, in terms of low light, X80 Pro wins. This is another shot taken using the low light or night mode, and if you zoom into the bottom section of the image, here you can see that the text is more sharper and clearer on the Vivo X80 Pro. So that's the night mode. This is another shot taken with the night mode. Once again, we feel Vivo has the advantage with lesser noise and more details. Now this is the ultra wide angle low light mode. You can see that plenty of details on offer on the Vivo X80 Pro, while the iPhone 13 Pro does not have that kind of details. Once again, X80 Pro excels here. Now moving on to the selfie camera, here we feel the skin tones are better or natural looking on the iPhone 13 Pro, but if you don't want natural looking skin tones and you want beauty mode to be applied, then the Vivo X80 Pro offers that. So selfies are more of a personal choice. The portrait selfies also looks very good, but once again I feel the iPhone 13 Pro is a bit more natural looking compared to the Vivo X80 Pro in terms of selfie cameras. But when it comes to low light selfies, this is where the Vivo X80 Pro takes the lead. You can see here it's a noisy image on the iPhone 13 Pro. So selfies are more of a personal choice. You can judge based on the images shown here. Now next, let's move on to the video quality. Now both of these devices offer videos up to 4K 60 FPS, and Vivo also offers 8K recording. Now the video quality looks very good on both the devices. It's a slightly more contrasty video on the Vivo X80 Pro, but if you look at the overall quality, both looks very similar. The colors are a bit more vivid on the Vivo X80 Pro, while it is a bit more natural looking on the iPhone 13 Pro. But stabilization is very good and implemented very well on both the devices. But I feel personally the iPhone 13 Pro excels in terms of video quality. Overall it is good, but Vivo X80 Pro isn't bad by any means. It is also really good, but in terms of video recording, our personal choice would be the iPhone 13 Pro. So this is the front facing camera sample taken from the Vivo X80 Pro. So you can judge yourself how good the clarity of the video is and also the audio output. So this is the front facing camera sample taken with the iPhone 13 Pro. So you can judge yourself how good the camera quality is and also the audio output from the video. So that was a detailed camera comparison of the Vivo X80 Pro with the iPhone 13 Pro. So as you could see, Vivo X80 Pro produces really good imaging, especially the dynamic range where the iPhone 13 Pro fails, and overall the sharpness levels and even the overall quality also looks better on the Vivo X80 Pro. But remember, iPhone 13 Pro is almost a year-old device, while the X80 Pro is more of a recent device. So the camera advancements and the optimization would have done better for the Vivo X80 Pro. Pro. But having said that, the pricing is what matters. The Vivo X80 Pro is priced much lower than the iPhone 13 Pro, which is priced more than ₹1,00,000, while the Vivo X80 Pro is below that price segment. So at a lower price segment, Vivo X80 Pro offers almost same or better quality in terms of photography when compared to the iPhone 13 Pro. So that's where the Vivo X80 Pro excels. So what do you guys think about the camera on these two devices? Do let us know your thoughts in the comment section. So that was the camera comparison of the Vivo X80 Pro with the iPhone 13 Pro. So hope you enjoyed watching this video. Do let us know which one of these cameras you like the more, and if you were to pick one of these smartphones based on only the camera aspect, which one would that be? Do let us know in the comment section. So this is Nirmal signing off with the camera comparison of the Vivo X80 Pro with the iPhone 13 Pro. Hope you enjoyed watching this video. Do hit that like button and also hit the subscribe button for more videos. Thanks for watching. Hope to see you in our next video. Have a great day.